Hello, everybody. I must admit, I'm a little bit early, like a minute early, because I thought when I set this off, it would have one of those really annoying countdown things that pop up when a live is scheduled. As is my usual MO, I'm doing this live, like spare of the moment. I did actually schedule it, but I only scheduled it like 20. So I have checked. I know Chris Hayden normally does a live on a Friday around about this time. I did check on his channel and he's nothing scheduled. So um, yeah, I'm not standing on anybody's toes. How you doing, Kath? How's your soggy Friday going? It's bloody awful, isn't it? It's really, in fact, that's the reason I'm doing this live because I'm just about to, well, shortly I'm going to head out to do my Amazon courier run and post run because I do my postage on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. I know it's the afternoon, but hey, it's been a lazy day today. But yeah, it's chucking it down, and nobody wants soggy gear, so that's the reason I'm hanging around and doing this live. Derek, how the devil are you, sir? Good to see you. I know it's wet out there, but it's bloody warm today, right? Shezimanti, Madsai, Guten Abend, wie geht's? Hi, Chris, how you doing? You're saying hello. I've got a particular to talk about, AC Global. I see you popping up on my Instagram all the time. Introduce yourself. Let me know what your real name is. Also disappointed for the weather report this weekend. Absolutely, yeah. I think down south have got the best of the weather, so that's certainly going to affect the boot sales. I've got to get out this weekend though because I need my fit, and I'm taking the grandkids camping next weekend as well. So I'm missing next week's boot sales. So Kath, top tip for you. It's looking like Clitheroe might be quite busy as a result of the weather. So that's looking favourite for me. Electro, how you doing? Because of use of the word mucker, I think you're further north than me, the northeast or northwest. I am actually in July. I'm absolutely coming up to, assuming you're the northeast. I am coming up to the northeast in July. Just not sure when yet. Maybe next weekend. Um, Possibly the weekend after, which will be the 13th, 14th, something like that. How does VAT work? Millie, I'm not qualified to offer any kind of accounting advice. I would strongly advise seeking uh, advice of a tax professional. But I can say that the VAT threshold whereby you're required to become VAT registered in the UK is 85 grand. So if you go over 85 grand gross turnover, then you have to be VAT registered. You can optionally do it under that, but yeah, if you're anywhere near, strongly advise you speaking to an accountant in the first instance because you can get in a lot of bother and it starts getting very expensive if you go over and you're not VAT registered. Do you have to go VAT registered? Well, yeah, that's the answer to that question. 85 grand's a threshold, but that's gross turnover. That's not. I know a lot of people are self-employed on cash-based accounting, um, but yeah, it's gross turnover. Like I say, speak to an accountant urgently if you think you're anywhere near. Andy, good to meet you, Andy. Glenn, how the devil are you, sir? Like I say, we're just doing this guerrilla live again. I'm always doing guerrilla lives. I do like it when I just pop up, just do this organisation crap. Who does organisation? Organisations for losers. If it ain't raining, well, yeah, absolutely, Joe. If it ain't raining, it ain't all booting. That's a Cass very, very social. You broke up there, Dave. What was the hot tip? Oh, I think I might my I figured something out before I came on live. Actually, I've had to rejig my lights because as soon as I turn one off, it stopped my mic working bizarrely. So hopefully it's not playing up. You shouldn't have paid a fortune for this bloody mic. Um, Clitheroe, the cattle market at Clitheroe. That's the tip for this weekend for boot sales, just so you can get your fix. Did you say you were coming to North East soon? What's the plan? See him. Um, is that where 50p guy is? That might be sort of like a really confusing reference if you don't watch. Oh, the channel's gone on there. Really love the last one on North East. Haven't seen anything from her for a while. Vintage Flea. Vintage Flea. Yeah, I think that's it anyway. Yeah, she's always on about 50p guy. So CM is definitely the plan. I'm going to try and make it worthwhile though. So the plan is perhaps come up for a boot sale on the Saturday morning, see what's about, and stay over. Maybe have a couple of pints, see if anybody's up for a wee drink. Not too many because obviously up early the following morning and hit the boot sales on the Sunday as well. So that's again, it's a loose plan. Let's race from Withenshaw. Last time I checked Withenshaw, definitely wasn't in the northeast, but maybe in the northeast of Manchester. No, maybe not. No worries at all, Millie. Have you been reselling long, Millie? I know that when I first started reselling, I decided on day one that I was going to do it properly and obviously register business, all my HMRC, all that kind of stuff, because I'm really, really crap at. Um, I would never play poker. I've got a terrible poker face, so I would never even attempt to try and pull the wool or get away with anything. So I wanted to do it right from day one. But when I first started learning about all that kind of stuff, you sort of you panic and you think, "Oh my God, they're out to get me." HMRC are like evil demons and all that kind of stuff. They're not really. They want you to toe the line, so they're going to try and be as helpful as possible. Anyway, I'm labouring that point, and I'm not qualified to offer advice. That wasn't advice. That was just my experience. Have you heard any experience on Poshmark? I haven't. I keep threatening to have. The only thing that's stopping me is volume. I'm assuming with most platforms to get any kind of tangible returns. I think you've got to be going for it. I mean, my presence on eBay is I wouldn't say it's significant, but for a one man band, it's fairly significant. And I'm just making a living. If I probably couldn't solely rely on my income from eBay even at this stage. So I've sort of like multiple streams of income. But I would imagine Poshmark and pretty much every other selling platform is the same thing. To see any kind of significant returns, you need to invest some time and effort into it. No is the short answer to that question. Do you mind if I call you Shez for short? If you're interested in brand new women's designer dresses, shop. I would be, Millie. Can you send me a DM on Instagram, perhaps? It's just maybe I'll reselling. Send me a DM. We'll have a chat on there. Thank you very much. And everybody else, the 25 people that are in the chat now, are probably sending you a message through YouTube saying, "No, dresses you say." If that's the case, just remember whose channel you got that intro on. Such a normal collie is. You're showing your age there now, pal. We need Bubble Wrap Man, do you know when he's on this side of the Pennines again? He's coming over really soon, Kathy. Should be doing anyway. He's only just back from Greece. He came back Wednesday because I've got an absolute load of boxes that he's having off me. So he's buying them off all in the one. But as much as I love Bubble Wrap Man, if you're in the Northwest and you're shy at boxes, let me know. I've got probably several hundred, brand spanking new, bells are 10. I'll do you a very, very good deal. I think they're bigger than small parcel size. That's the only downside. But I think they're probably the raw mail, medium parcel size boxes, brand spanking new, with much cheapness. Hit me up on Instagram if you're interested. Same. What a field of rubbish. Oh, Dave, come on, man. I'm excited about this trip. Don't piss on my chips. Where would you recommend? Can't, this is we'll call this live an information gathering live. So if any of you got any northeast boot sales that you're in love with, we'll let you know where they are. Carl, good afternoon. How's things? Your profile picture's all blurry. Looks a bit creepy, that actually. Is you a ghost? It's you. Tell the truth. Tell the truth to win at poker. I can't believe how good I am at it. It's been a long time since I played poker. Unfortunately, I haven't got an addictive gambling habit. Otherwise, I'd be fleeced. Let's go around the northeast. Keep you safe. Secret Santa is that sounds a bit dodgy, that Dave. I've actually finally met Dave over at Fitzwilliam, top bloke. Okay, brilliant. Well, obviously, watch this live first. Don't leave us yet. Boxes that Lee's after. Yeah, brilliant. If you can, that'd be great. Super. So, how is everybody's sales going? I'm going to pass it back out to the chat. How have you been finding it lately? I know a lot of people up to probably about nearly a month ago now are complaining about really low sales. I think there was a suspicion that eBay were jiggery pokering with the back office operations, and it was having a filter through effect. Was that the case for you, or did you find it was uh, you weren't having a problem at all? I went through a bit of a lull in sales on eBay, but nothing significant. I think what a lot of people make the mistake of is they look at the eBay sales and the store analytics over a week or day to day or a week, and really that's too short a time frame to get any kind of information from. So your performance analytics, you need to be looking at them at the minimum, I'd say, over a month, because it gives you a clear picture of how you're performing or how your store's performing. I think ultimately, I'm really honest here, but you just got to sell things that people want to buy. A competitive product. If that's the case, then you'll have less of a problem. Okay, what was it in this unit? It's, I don't know what it is. I think it's because I've got an Apple mouse that I always have this problem when I do lives. I'm clicking on messages. Dude, I've been to Thailand. There's nothing in the UK that can hold a candle to it. Thanks for the offer, though. Seems the last place. Plenty of better options will keep you right. Nice one. Yeah, can you probably bump into you before? And I think if you're doing Fitzwilliam any of the next couple of Wednesdays, I'll probably bump. But yeah, if you talk about around that kind of area, I'm not really fussed which part of the northeast I go to, but it would be nice to be pretty central for options of boot sales. So yeah, great. Sales recently, I've got a bit listed, which is out, but my priority is working on my barn. What are you doing with your barn, Derek? I feel like I've missed something here. I should really follow more people that follow me. I'm. It's not because I don't love you, because clearly I do very much. It's because of if I want information, generally speaking, I'll go and look for it rather than wait for it to come to me. I went through a lot of years of doing that, and it's tied away for information all the time. So it's nothing personal. Um, yeah, you can be something. What are you doing with your barn? Are you converting it for personal or business purposes? I do remember somebody mentioning that actually. Anyway, let me know. Saying sales of poo looks like people are worried about the bills for obvious reasons. Uh, yeah. Do you know what? I know it's really tempting to assign reasons and things like that. But I don't know, because my mind, I would never put any I would never put any weight in this theory. But to my mind, if you're selling predominantly used goods, then sadly, as it may seem to say, any kind of cost of living crisis is going to help sales rather than hinder it, because people are still going to want nice stuff. And if you found nice stuff at big sales or charity shops and it's not new, and selling it on considerably less than people would buy new for, then surely that would increase sales rather than decrease it. So I won't put too much stock in um, the cost of living thing, particularly from a resale of second-hand goods. And, I mean, that's my theory anyway. I mean, it might be a load of crap, but I mean, just logicking it out. That's my train of thought anyway. Been down too long in the best month on record. Brilliant. Good to hear, mate. Have you have you noticed any reason for that, Dave? Have you been doing anything differently, or have you I don't know increased the volume of listing perhaps, or yeah, tell us a bit of put a bit more meat on the bones to that, or are you just that's you doing the same thing that you've been doing since Moses was a kid, and that's just the way it's playing out for you at the minute? Like for please, so pretty slow sales, but only part time, about 20% down on the month. Yeah, that's not that bad a fluctuation. Sometimes the fluctuations look scary, but I look at my figures at the end of the month and they're thereabouts where they need to be, and it's certainly a reflection of how much effort I've put in during the month. So yeah, just keep plodding on. That's all I'd say. More low, but I've been on holiday. It's getting back to where it was at the beginning of May. Georgia, how did you handle going away? Did you? I'm assuming you'd put your store in holiday mode. How were your sales while you were away? That's the one thing I noticed. At the beginning of May, I was away on holiday for 10 days, and and my sales were brilliant. Well, I was in holiday mode. There's no again, no rhyme or reason to it. Before that, I was mistaken in the thought that as well as putting your store in holiday mode, you also had to extend your shipping time. And I think perhaps historically that's where I've been going wrong, because you don't need to extend shipping times at all. If your store's in holiday mode, it's in holiday mode. So perhaps that's the reason that this time around when I went away, it was I got better sales. Neil's Mahusive Crush. Oh no! Everybody likes my singing. I know. I like my singing. That's the thing. Nothing's changing that. Sorry. Is it? Oh, jeez. I don't want to start tinkering. I think it's something to do with where my mouse is plugged into. Right, bear with me a second. I'll see if I can sort this out. I hate wires and under my desk is this is gonna no, that's the speakers. It's that one. Oh, this is where everything goes off in it. Now I'm just gonna solder on. Hopefully you're picking out enough of what I'm saying. Lynn, how are you? Flying visit. Thank you. Kath's saying, have you noticed that Norcross is starting on Wednesday afternoons? I haven't, no. On Wednesday afternoon, that's interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that goes. The only the only book sale that I'm aware of in the Northwest at present is Warrington. And I've never been on a Wednesday, but according to sources, it's yeah. Tongue in cheek having a conversation about my usual Wednesday boot sale over near Pontefract, and we came to the conclusion that perhaps there's more unemployment in Yorkshire than Lancashire, and that's why there's more boot sales in Yorkshire. Right, let's move the microphone closer. Is that better? Yeah, I'm doing my best. I need to unplug my computer and plug it all in, but midlife, I mean, you're here now. My sales are steady but not amazing. Tracking the same as last month, 40 part time though, so I don't have a full timer. Yeah, this fair play. Like I say, looking at the macro is it's definitely better than trying to drill down and beat yourself up on a day to day or a week to week basis. Depends what you sell, good quality stuff. Oh, okay. So is it more literally a flea market, Dave, at CM? My stubbornness makes me want to go there even more now, just to just to find stuff. Strong sales for the first half of June, weak sales second half. It'd be interesting to see how you've done on the month, by the way. So sometimes that's the way. That's just the way it plays out. Not changed anything. Just choosing quality for good condition price, right? The way it goes. Very particular about what I pick up. I'm getting more that way. I keep falling into the trap of picking up stuff. I think what it is, it's very sales dependent what I pick up. So I'm still guilty of it, even as sort of like long in the tooth doing this as I am. I'm still guilty of, I suppose, panic buying, really, if I'm completely honest. If the sales aren't there, then my tolerance um, for the value of stuff I pick up, it slides. And really, I should just listen to my own advice and say, look at it in the macro rather than just flap. I suppose it's human nature. I set holiday mode while I was away. Sales were still good, but the week after was very low. I guess because I hadn't been listing. Possibly, yeah. There are some people that would say listing has how regularly you list has no effect on how regularly you sell. But personally speaking, and through I'd say extensive experience now, I'd say it absolutely does make a difference. But then again, saying that, Chris Hayden, he subscribes to the train of thought that if you're, that's what tinkering, tinkering with your store, whether that be listing, whether that be style similar, whether that be changing your promotion rates, this, that, and the other. As long as you're doing something with your store, it all helps in the big picture. Ali, how are you? Good afternoon to you. Are you saying I don't have quality stuff? So 9% clothing mainly sourced from charity shops, vinted, and local wholesaler. Only been seeing 4 times, 500 listings active, probably another 500 in the backlog. That's the same as me. I'm at 450. I had a cold actually. I dropped about 30 listings. I did a stock take. That was a mixture of probably about 30 items that had fallen off for inexplicable reasons, and um, just stuff that had been hanging around forever, low value, carbon oil and reverse invested. Parkour Lord's do Wednesday evening. It hasn't been great. The Wednesday one isn't great either, to be honest. No crosses plagiarism, no idea. I wouldn't have thought that was the case because It's not really anywhere near, is it? I can't see sort of a location near Fleetwood affecting a Chorley boot sale. You know, it's not cross itchy. Um, yeah, the only time I'd heard of Norcross before I started going to the boot sale is where that's where the Army Pensions Office is, part of it. And Dream of Crafting. Hi, Dave and all in the chat. Just came back from Yorkshire. Strawberry Sports Car boot. Yeah, brilliant. Did you go yesterday or was it last week? I was there last week, but I missed this week. I thought it would be a bit the weather. I do like it, though. It was very, very nervous times. I don't think. No, the video that I shot won't be out until either a week tomorrow or possibly even the Saturday after. Uh, and it was very, very nervous times. I was having a really ropey day, and all of a sudden I hit one seller and spent an absolute fortune with them. In fact, I'll probably there's a spoiler in this live. You know my thought on picking clothing up, particularly this time of year. It just kind of bores me, so I want to pick up other interesting stuff and try and avoid clothes if I can. My boots were the exception of maybe one or two items. It was entirely clothing. But definitely watch that video because there's some really interesting pieces. It was a learning experience for me. I'm not plugging the video because he'll well have forgotten about it by then. But my next will be filled boot sale on the channel. Watch out for it because there's some cool stuff. I'm socially going to resign and watching various videos on YouTube, like a good charity shop. Can't wait to car boot soon. Want to try to reduce the amount of stuff I have though. Yeah, just get it listed. Get it listed. I've the way I do it, I just had it like a bull in the china shop. I can't. I just my brain space can't handle pounds of stuff all over the place. So I'm just get it listed, get it done as soon as possible. All this. In fact, I was talking to a, a reseller that I speak to regularly on at Bursco on Sunday, and he said he was buying stuff to put aside for Christmas. But again, I don't subscribe to that either. Get it listed. If people can't see it, they can't buy it. I know the items that you listed. The chances are you'll get a certain percentage more at Christmas, but get it sold, make the profit, buy, reinvest. That's my train of thought anyway. Each to their own. Yeah, what craft do you do? I should have asked that question. Thanks, Debbie. This rain's not letting up, so you're stuck with me for a little while longer. One thing's for sure, eBay like you to list as much as possible. It does seem like that, doesn't it, Cal? I mean, anybody would think they were a multinational corporation that are actually there to make money. Who'd have thought, hey, guessing Tea Cakes doesn't like to see him. Yeah, you kind of get that feeling from Dave, don't you? Show me on this picture where CM touched you, Dave. I mean, she's rubbish. It's been all around all over the place. Dave, I think we might have spoken about this already. Was it you? I mean, a couple of people have, but was it you that recommended York? Quite a few people now have mentioned York to me. It's expensive, but you get really good stuff. Anyway, that's another option. I haven't been. A lot of charity shops now, though. They know what they've got. Suit riders are good. I think it's area dependent. Any of the sea riders that I've been into in the northwest, they're up there with like Bernardo's and British Heart Foundation on price. It's true that the smaller, more local charity shops, generally speaking, are better to go into. I hate generalizing like this, but they're better because they haven't got the budget to employ people to research for online sales, for example, and they really get it. They get that they've got a lot of stuff coming in, so really they just want to turn it over as quickly as possible. I've made some really good contacts and where that's exactly the case, and they do get they'd rather me come in and spend a couple hundred quid a time than sit on that stock for a couple of months and maybe get 230, 240 for it. I list 10 similar items every day. It's ticking over. Yeah, that's again, that's I keep mentioning Chris Hayden, Cooking Hayden's. If there's one channel that I follow regularly, it's his because he gives extremely good value for money. He's all across updates on eBay's policies. If eBay introduces any new shenanigans, he's all over that, and he shares that with the community. So if you aren't already, subscribe to Cookie and Hayden's. Chris and Belle, just a lovely, lovely couple. I've met Chris personally, and he's just exactly as you see him on screen. Really genuine guy. And like I say, importantly, as nice a guy as he was, if I didn't get any value out of his content, no offense, Chris, I probably wouldn't subscribe to the channel. But I do. I do get value, even like I say, as long down the road. So, yeah, that's my experience as well. No cross makes me think is a here. Last couple of times I've seen as a here has been at Bolton boot sale. I dream of crafting. I might have missed your answer to the question, what stuff do you craft? Everybody's on tenterhooks now, waiting for that pearl. Doo-doo-doo. Cross have said that they're doing midweeks summer holidays. Yeah, that makes sense. Might be worth a trip over. Top of the field traders, just turn left, go straight away to the bottom of the field. Yeah, it's normally, yes, most of the top field, isn't it? That's traders. I've still picked up some good stuff from the traders, but down the bottom field is where all the action normally is. I've no doubt I've got 20 cracking things that will be listed by Friday and they'll sell rather than boxes below par stuff by a few years. Yeah, definitely. I think the only way that that kind of business model is viable is if you are just doing it as a hobbyist and you're not relying on from eBay or from reselling. And but there's an argument to say that if you were a larger company and you were to the stage where you're at that tipping point in bringing on board somebody to help you, then operate a tandem eBay store, for example, for stuff like that. I'd be interested. I have recently been having that kind of thought about how viable it would be to just pay somebody to run a tandem store and for stuff like that, lower value items that might be hanging around for a little while. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just wholesale a lot out, and yeah, maybe that's the trend. That's just a very early sort of like seed of a thought. Like, oh, she did answer. I do many types of craft. Love handmade personal stuff, especially anything to do with nature, photo flowers, driftwood, crafts. Do you sell at boot sales or markets or anything like that? And what's your name, by the way? I can't keep calling you Dream. I got into reselling a small way through deciding to declutter. Now I have empty cupboards and shelves, so I paid off my credit card and chopped it off. That's amazing news. Do you know what? If all you ever do as a reseller is use it as a pathway to get yourself out of debt, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I was speaking to last evening actually. Her goal in reselling is taking her daughter away to Disneyland, and they should be happy if that's all she ever does with reselling. I just think that's phenomenal. I love hearing people's stories, but that's got to be absolutely top of the list of reasons for doing this as a hobbyist. I don't say a hobbyist is like a kind of detriment or anything like that, but if you can use reselling to clear your debt, that's just amazing. It's a brilliant way to take exploit. He is. He seems like a very disciplined man, Ali. He really does. I won't want to get on the wrong side. Wait until Christmas is an excuse to be lazy. 100%. Yeah, definitely. Listed Burberry's trench yesterday at 270. So we're raining somewhere. Yeah, definitely. It's a safe bet in this country, mate. And the reason for this live is testament to that. Bananas are quite cheap up here. Now, I say this with the most ultimate respect because I don't prejudge anything. All the shops that I've ever been into around here that have always been expensive and it's never been any different, I still go in because my brain thinks that you're going to miss something at some point. I still go in. I don't make a point of going in, but if I'm passing, I'll nip in. The reason that this message popped up is because there is a Bernardo's in Wigan that I pass quite regularly. So, and they used to nip into that was always like stupid expensive. They just pull a figure out of thin air. There was there can't have been any kind of research gone into the price of the stuff that we had in. And as a consequence, it shut down. So maybe there's a story to be had there. Look, take out of that what you will, but if charity shops particularly are overpriced, then they're just not going to be there very long. It just seems like logic to me. Speak of the devil, I believe you're after some boxes. If you are, I think Kath might have already mentioned you, but if you're after some boxes, new ones in bundles, let me know. I've got a load to get rid of because I haven't heard from Bubble Wrap. Bubble Wrap man, you're welcome, mate. Or I'm sorry, whichever one. How are you finding? How long has it been, John? And how are you finding it so far? What's your story? £20 profit each time on it, like being tidy. Yeah, Dave, on the same. I hate clutter. I mean, it's unavoidable. I'm looking around me now, and I'm seeing not very much, to be fair, but it's still there. And this is where I live as well. So I think I'm a way off being able to afford a commercial premises. So having my storage container in my house, this is the extent of my empire. So it's inevitable that I'm going to be sitting amongst work, and it really does wind me up. Lee, have you heard about the Norcross boot sale on a Wednesday? Kath was just telling us. NC Global's asking, Tea Cakes, are you full time or are you out of the work? For reselling. Yeah, definitely. He's that's another channel that's worth following. Full of useful stuff. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I think it's skies are starting to brighten up, so I'll get through the chat such as it is. And yeah, what's it? Done a 2 hour drive to Strawberry Fields a couple of weeks ago. Trade ahead, very disappointing to see him. Well, there you go. We've got a vote for CM. Strawberry Fields is really worthwhile the effort during the school holidays. It's because of the nature of it. You probably noticed when you went over that it didn't start till relatively late on. It only really starts getting busy with sellers from about 7:30 onwards, and that's the middle of the morning as far as car boot sales go. I mean, to my mind, anyway. Uh, but there's a reason for that. There's a lot of buyers there that go, and they're just tourists. There's a lot of it's a seaside town. A hell of a lot of tourists about who don't get up early. They're there for a mooch about and pick up tap from a market, really. But it's a different story during the school holidays. So don't lose heart with Strawberry Fields. Go during the school holidays. There's a few times I went last year during that 6 week school break, and it was heaving, absolutely heaving. But yeah, sometimes if I'm going, I've been over 3 times this year, and it has been a very nervous drive. It's a 5 hour round trip for me, and if I'm not picking stuff up, then it's a bloody expensive run in fuel and time. Wrongly, Dave, was meaning Miley. Okay, all right, keep your hair on. Gonna go do some housework. Have a lovely afternoon. Yep, you too, Ali. Have a smashing weekend. Right, let's used to shop in Skipton. Love Skipton. Oakley, Clitheroe, don't bother now. That's probably expensive. You know about the Clitheroe cattle market, car boot on a Sunday, I take it. I know you told me your name, but I'm sorry. I'm really useless for names. I'll be there on Sunday, and I might just like work in time for a cup of coffee if you're if you're there. It wasn't for me. Oh, right, okay. Too many Lees. Yeah, I'm Dave. Common as muck. Common as muck as Dave's, I tell you. Cool. So it's definitely on them. Brillsville. No cross only 10 minutes for me. That's right, mate. Isn't it, Lee? Here we go. Last couple of comments. Um, get to York. Lots of vintage and quirky. Like that is the thing that people are telling me. Vintage and quirky might be paying up. There's plenty of margin in it. Yeah, that's happening. It's happening. I've not been to Yorkshire on a weekend for a long time. So, and I've said this year that I'm going further afield, and I do go to like over the border quite regularly, not really ridiculously far. I want to try ebook um, just for the content more than anything else. I want to try ebook this year at some point, but York is definitely on the list. So I think with the trip over to Yorkshire over the weekend, I might do the same thing again, either camp or B&B it. Not because it's a long way, but so I can do 2 days on the bounce. It's all relative. Everyone's expectations are different. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. I get asked a lot, how many listings do you need to have? How much do you need to be turning over to go full time? And it's completely subjective. So it depends on what you want to achieve for yourself, and it depends on your position as well. So yeah, as my old man used to say, everything is anti-Mary. Everything is relative. Very struggling to get going, but all coming to its own in the winter and can't be close. Yeah, definitely. It's, I knew if I bumped into the organizer actually at Norcross, which would have been 2 weeks ago now, and he came over and he said, "Listen, thanks very much for doing the video when you went over to publicise the big sale, and I have no doubt it will return to its former glory, but it just might take a bit." But like you say, Lee, it's brilliant for winter months. Just have to stick some kind of bonus year spikes on my trolley because moving up and down those lanes get upsetting people. I do was part of the early access to the next level resale. Will be rejoining soon. How's Amazon going? It's going amazingly well. In fact, Adam, I've just landed on another service as well, which I'm still a member of Next Level Resale, and this is not a slide or anything like that, but it makes Next Level Resale look like it's just so like starting out. I know it is, but this other service that I've joined as well is more established, and in terms of leads, it's just well worth the effort. Amazon's going great. In fact, that's one of the reasons I'm hanging fire taking stuff out, because I've got 3 big boxes of to go to FBA this afternoon. Just stuff I picked up over the last couple of days. We'll give it another go in August. Is Fitzwilliam any better in the 6 weeks? Probably. Yeah, probably. Fitzwilliam's quite consistent. There's been a few times I've been over there and I've not got very much when disappointed, all that kind of stuff. But it's like with every boot sale, you get out of the house, and it's a gamble. Nobody might turn up. In fact, I have actually been to a boot sale where literally nobody turned up before now, and you can't call it. But Fitzwilliam's consistent. I would imagine it is better during the 6 weeks. During the 6 weeks holiday. Yeah, just keep at it. That's all I can say. It's really, in fact, it's impossible to gauge how good a boot sale is from one visit. I think all boot sales are excellent. It just whether the right buyers are there or the stuff you want to buy is there or not. Next, I'm just trying methods to clear out lots of opinions of other resellers. Do you prefer items to be hung on racks, etc., or boxed to save space? If I'm selling clothes, I always polybag them and then store them. I know some people don't do that because it's expensive, but I'm paying like 1 or 2 pence maybe for polybags. And when they sell, it's just easy to chuck it in another bag and get in a post. I think if you've got any more than 100 listings and clothings, if it's 100 racks, you're going to run out of space really quickly. Sometimes it's a clipper, maybe 3 years. Yeah, Dave. Like I say, it's not quite out to its former glory, but it's going to head that way. Perhaps if you've got other options that are more consistent, I would say perhaps try those until later on in the season. Fantastic news, which is you go with our next level in around August, September. Send me a message on Instagram, Adam, and I'll hook you up with it. It's not a secret. It's just it's not. I don't advertise it basically at this stage. I'm not advertising next level, even though I'm an affiliate. I'm not advertising next level resale either, and that's for no other reason. Is I'm just being selfish. I don't want to dilute the information. But I might tell you, see, trust Adam. Jane, Chan, it's Chan. I don't like it much. They grabby about the money when you're paying. How long is it since you've been? Um, because it's completely new people who run it now. It locked down. It's closed completely as a result of the pandemic, and everybody thought it wasn't going to open again, but it has. And the new management. So I've never had that experience. Never. They've always been dead friendly. In fact, I'm a bit annoying being claustrophobic in that, and sometimes where the pens are inside, where the sellers set up, if it's busy, it can get really claustrophobic in there. For me, anyway, it's just because I'm a big girl's blouse. only have half the outside space and only the middle barn now. Used to love it in the winter. I noticed that, Lee, because he used to fit quite a few people in the bottom barn where there was no pens. I don't know why they haven't reopened that as well, because that would just be a no-brainer, really. Fill that before you fill outside up, just in case. Particularly if the forecast rain. I'm sure there's a reason. Okay. Last couple of messages, I promise, and I'm gone because the rain has stopped. Yes. Thank you, Dave. I'll drop me a message on my latest account. I'm without Instagram. I must get on with it, get with the times. Oh, that's good to know. Give it another go. See you there. Don't wear a blouse, though. I can't promise I won't wear a blouse. Best thing about Clitheroe is the cafe. Mind you, I'm talking 10 years ago. Right, let's have like a reseller and meet up at Clitheroe on Sunday. Uh, Working Sunday. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Be nice if that bottom barn was open. Right, lovely people, I'm definitely going to go because I don't think we've seen the last of the rain today, but it's stopped at the moment. Thank you very much indeed. I think we're up to 40 at one point in the chat. Thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure as always. I've got a video coming out at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and it's an absolute monster. It's, I would say it's a monster. It's only 10 minutes longer than usual. That's a whole weekend of new stores. And I've got some absolute bangers. Well worth a watch, but I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say don't watch from over the years. The pants, am I? Until next time, lovely people, have a smashing weekend. Hit those boot sales and smash it out of the park. Ta-ta for now.